and welcome to Autotelic Drive. My name is Pauline Duggold. I'm a peak performance coach, and on this channel I speak about things that I find helpful for myself and my clients that I worked with to enhance the cognitive performance, enhance your ability to be performing optimally at your best. Autotelic Drive means performing from internal motivation, and everything that is related to performance, related to internal motivation, leads to better outcomes. So in this video, I want to talk about the idea of you being a cognitive athlete. What does that mean? If you are working with systems and processes, if you are constantly using computer, if you're staring at data every day of your working life, it means you are a cognitive athlete. It means your performance depends on your ability to perform mental cognitive tasks with the most efficiency that you can. It means that you need to hold information, you need to sort information, calculate things, remember things, access things in your mind, in your brain, in your memory. And the better you are at it, the better your results and the outcomes are. If you've ever worked within some kind of a computer system software or any parameters like that, you know how multitasking is built into those systems. You always have multiple tabs open, you always have different projects on the go, and you're shifting your attention between different things, and you know how there's interruptions constantly coming into your field, distracting you, slowing down the process. And it has been found that it can take up to half an hour to return to the focused concentration after you have been distracted. And so that is critical to understand when you are considering that. If you really realize that you're a cognitive athlete, you perform on the same level as Olympic athletes do with their body, except you do it with your brain. You just input things into the computer with your hands, but everything really happens in your head. Therefore, the head, your brain, is your biggest asset. And so you have to protect your attention and you have to protect your focus. But then not only that, you also have to acknowledge and understand what is happening with your dopamine levels. Dopamine is the reward system, it is the seeking system, and it is also called an expectation system. You get dopamine as a reward chemical when you are striving towards something, when you're expecting something. You have a focused area of where you're looking at and you're moving towards that target. You get bursts of dopamine to reinforce your movement towards that. But what is happening in our world right now is all the technology is designed to create those dopamine reactions. It is designed for multiple reasons. Some of them is gamification of the devices so that you would be using more often. It is gamification of the software so that you also would be using them more frequently. But it's also done sometimes to enhance the usability of certain programs and software so that it will be more user-friendly. Regardless of the reason why it is used right now, it will be depleting your dopamine level if you're not aware of it. And so every interaction with the device, every attention-seeking capability of the software device will be drawing on your overall dopamine power, and there are limits to it. It's not infinite. There are certain limitations. You have certain amount of chemistry that you can produce, and then you deplete it, and then you have to rebuild it. So it's important to realize that and understand in order to protect your attention. You can also track it throughout your day to see how much attention you have first thing in the morning, how much you have at the end of the day, and modulate your work according to those levels, because you yourself know yourself better than anybody else. So you can tell that maybe in the morning you are full of dopamine, you're full of attention, your brain has recovered overnight, and your attention and focus is optimal. And then it wanes throughout the day as those distractions add up. because as you go through the day full of multitasking and facing the challenges and solving problems, you slowly deplete your chemistry, and by the end of the day you feel like you've got nothing left and you need to recover. So, and there is a critical factor here. When you need to recover, you need to use active recovery. And that means doing some kind of a low-grade exercise to cycle your chemistry, to cycle your fluids within you, so that you're not just vegging out on the couch in front of the TV, feeding your mind more imagery and more dopamine deriving hits. So that is critical to understand, that when you want to actively recover, the activity has to be low load. It must not load your visual system. It must not make you think more. You just need to be relaxing and being in nature. Low grade exercise, cold therapy, hot therapy, those things work the best. Exercise, yoga, riding on a bicycle, things like that, swimming. So something that gets you moving, something that gets you into your body and out of your mind. This is actually another factor. When you use your mind, you are thinking all day, you are in beta brainwave, and in order to relax, you need to relax those brainwaves as well. And so when you are in nature, when you're doing those low-grade exercises connecting with your body, you are lowering your brain chemistry and your brain waves. So those are all things that you have to be aware of in order to perform you optimally with your brain, and in order to get the best results possible and solve the hardest problems that occur in your daily living and your daily work. If this was helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps me and my channel, and it helps me share this information with more people who want to be performing optimally. And if you want to go further and deeper, you can download the Peak Performance Checklist, which is a one-page document that summarizes all the important aspects you have to remember to be in your optimal state every day, continuously, for weeks, months, and years. This checklist can be found in the link below. I will put it in the description. And once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!